welcome to Tangling along with me. We are continuing on tanglepatterns.com, and today it is this pattern that we're going to do. So let's open up the book and find our page here. This is for someone's liking a grid tangle, so we are going to start with a grid. So I'm using this square space down here because I actually like that. And I'm just gonna go with this line, and then I think I am going to make my grid in this size. Turn my book around and make my line the other way. Careful not to touch the jelly roll. There we go. So I have my grid right here, and I'm just making sure everything is nice and dry. Then I am going in and finding the center of each of my squares here. So that would be around here and around here. And now we are going to make these rice corn shapes. So it's actually a gentle C from one end of the point here to the square. So from the side or no corner of the square to the point and back to the corner, and again down here from the dot to the corner. And we're gonna do that in all the squares we have. We could also do one square at a time, but because this has a drying time, I kind of like making all the squares at once. Oh, and after I closed my book the other day, I could hear all of you screaming, "You didn't shade the pattern you made." That's right, I didn't shade that one because I didn't know how to, so I decided just to leave it as is and then wait and see what is going to happen here. So that's, yeah, that's that. Anyway, I'm turning my book around and I'm gonna do the other side here as well, so that we get a nice flower-like pattern here in each of our squares. And I'm just taking my time and letting the jelly roll kind of glide over the paper here. Not forcing anything. I kind of like this color, even though that blue is my color. Then I kind of like this green. It's a nice, it's going down nice dark, but then it turns into this really organic green. I really like it. And I like these 06 because they have a really fine tip, and I like that. Anyway, I'm trying to make sure everything is dry before I continue. Then I'm going to make a line from the center and out, but not all the way to the end of these shapes here. And I'm gonna do this in all 4 of these leaf shapes. So almost from the end and then to the middle. I'm gonna do this in every one that we have made so far, and it doesn't matter if your line is a little squiggly. That just adds to the fun of these tangles. There we go. I'm gonna leave that for a few seconds. I can see it's still a little wet right there. So I'm just waiting for it to dry before I continue. And at the end of these points, I am going to make kind of a little blob. And I'm doing this on all of these. But let me just start with these two in this end here. But I am going to do it in everyone. Then I'm just gonna make these small wisps on each side of these lines here. In the step out there's 3 of them, but I have room for 4. So that's what I'm doing. And normally I would turn this book a little more around than I am doing right now. And the reason I'm not doing it today is because of the jelly roll. Because if I turn my book, I am pretty sure I will end up placing my hand into the wet jelly roll, and I don't want to do that. But if you are on a white page, please turn your page around so that it is nice and comfy for you. Next row. Again, these dots at the end. Teardrops. And then again these small light wisps. I don't know what to call these. But I like the look of it. And the last pieces that we have here, we're gonna do that on these as well. There we go. I'm going to switch to a darker green. So this is again a Moonlight. This is a 10. So this is a 6 and this is a 10. I really wanted to switch, but I think the details will disappear if I switch. So I'm not. Okay, I'm just gonna keep on this green here. And I'm making a half circle here on each side of the square, and that turns into a circle here where the squares are touching, or an orb. We don't like circles here because circles are nicely rounded, and our orbs are most definitely not round. So we call them orbs instead of circles. There we go. And in the original they make some lines, so I'm just gonna try and see. One straight down, so it's divided 3 times, and then give it a C shape at the ends here, rounding it off, so a rounding. Down here, and again rounding it off. And we're gonna do this in all of these circles and half circles. Just taking our time with this. I'm not gonna turn my page here so that I don't put my hand into the wet ink, wet jelly roll. And this little corner. And here came my cat next to me and wants to say hi. So, letting him know gently here that I don't have time right now. Relax in your hands and your shoulders, and remember to breathe. So just relax and enjoy. Take your time. Pause my video if I'm too fast. Jump ahead if I'm too slow for you. There we go. I actually think this turned out really, really neat. I am going to take this darker green here. I don't have any names for these, but it's a darker green, again, a Moonlight. And I'm thinking of going in here and just popping in a dot in all the corners and in the middles of the flower, just to give it a little highlight, or what you want to call that. I really like that. And I want some white in there, sorry, so I am using my jelly roll, the 808 jelly roll in white, and I'm thinking of just popping in a tiny white dot here. I have to turn this around. Just between the dot and this circle or orbs thingy, or around the leaves. You don't have to do this. I just want it to pop a tiny bit more, so I'm gonna do that. Let's turn it back on. I actually think this is turning out really nice. Let me see if this is dry enough for me to erase this white line here that I don't really like. Is visible, and the same up here. I'm just carefully lifting up the white chalk here. There we go. Because I make my white lines very visible, so yeah, so you can see them on the camera. Anyway, I am using my white chalk here, my white charcoal, and I am gonna go in around the center here, not on the center, but around the center. Actually, I think I'm gonna do it here as well, just because that is also kind of a flower. And then I'm taking my Tortillion for the white charcoal, and then just carefully go around and soften out the charcoal, and charcoal, the white charcoal, and I'm not pushing that hard because I don't want to damage my jelly roll, and you can damage your jelly roll with the Tortillion here on the paper. So just very lightly touching the paper. I like that. I really like that. So that was the pattern for today. It was this one right here, and I think it turned out really neat. Anyway, I hope you liked it. So that was it for today. Thank you for watching. Have an attitude of gratitude.